Did you give up playing piano a long time ago and want to start playing again? Or do you want to be able to play piano on the spot without looking at the score? If so, this channel is for you. Hi, I'm Tomo, and in this channel, I'll be sharing what I learned through transitioning from classical to jazz piano playing. As you can read in my bio, I played piano about 10 years in my childhood, and I abandoned it for about 30 years. And now that I'm in my 40s, I wanted to start playing again. But one of the things that frustrated me the most when playing classical music is that I had to have a score in front of me or had to memorize everything by heart to be able to play. I couldn't even play Happy Birthday when I was asked to do so. For 10 years of playing, and I couldn't play even Happy Birthday. Then I realized there are some people who are able to play piano on the spot without looking at the score. How do they do that? As I started learning how to play like jazz piano and the concept of how to play jazz or salsa piano playing, I learned some interesting stuff that I didn't know before as a classical piano player. Now, I'm not a pro or I'm not a teacher of this genre by any means, but I am a student just like you trying to learn salsa or jazz piano. So as I go through this journey of learning this new genre of playing, I wanted to share what I learned with you. So today I want to share with you what I found about the basic differences between classical piano playing versus jazz piano playing. Difference number one, the music score. As you can see, here on the left is the classical piano piece music score, and here on the right is the jazz piano score, or the jazz score. In order to play classical piano, you have to know how to read music, which means it's mandatory for you to know what the notes are and what they represent, the rhythm, the tone, etc. And you have to follow all these notes as you play. This is the right hand, and this is the left hand. For jazz piano, you don't have to be able to read music as long as you know the chords. As written here, these are the chords. And for the melody of the music, you may have to read music, but if you can play by ear, you don't even need to read music for that. And the difference number two, the structure. The fundamental difference between classical and jazz music is the structure. Classical music is mainly composed, and the goal is to play as accurately as written. Jazz music, however, has more freedom. Jazz has a basic framework of the song like this, with chord progressions, and with a structure such as this, A, B, C. There are forms such as AABA, ABAC, ABCD. But how to play in this framework is up to each player. Also, there's a lot of improvisation required in playing music, jazz piano. And that is the part where jazz musicians shine, because they get to show their color when they improvise and create their music according to these chords. In other words, jazz musicians almost never play the same music the same way. Difference number three, the rhythm. The most common time signature or the beat in classical music is 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As many of you were told to practice with the metronome when playing classical piano, classical pianists are emphasized to play with the beat. This becomes a bit of a challenge when converting your playing from classical to jazz, because jazz music should not be played strictly to the beat. Maybe some of you may have heard that jazz beats have to be swinging, and this swinging feel cannot accurately be annotated on the music score. Even though it says 4/4 over here, if you hear this music, players are playing not strictly 2/4/4. Therefore, I would say the rhythm may be the most challenging thing when transitioning from classical to jazz piano playing. The fourth and the biggest difference between jazz piano playing and classical is that in a classical music, piano plays the whole thing, which means piano's going to play the melody and piano's going to play the bass, and it can create the whole music on its own. Whereas in jazz music, piano takes a part of the whole music. For example, if there's a jazz band and you're in a jazz band as a piano player, and there's a bass player and there's the drummer and there's a singer. In that case, you will not be playing the melody line because the singer is going to sing the melody line, and you will not be playing the bass line because bassist will play the bass line. So what you will be doing is to play the part that they're not playing in the harmony and comping those sounds so that you can create more various harmony with those other musicians. It's like a collaborative effort. You will not be playing the whole music by yourself. And I think that's like the major difference between classical music playing and jazz piano playing. So that is it, you guys. I hope you get something out of this video, and I will see you next time.